This is the Wally Show on our special podcast version during the pledge drive here. A lot of people are always like, well, how come during pledge drive you don't have any podcast stuff? Well, because we didn't want to just give you a bunch of stuff you've already heard before. So Zach and Katie decided to have us do extra work. Yay!
Yay!
Overachievers, I love you. So we're actually going to go through some stuff that we think is kind of interesting right now on this version of the Pledge Drive podcast. And you can also see it. It's the video podcast as well at allwally.com if you want to see what we look like while we hang out and talk. That's exciting. Although I am having a good hair day, so I would check it out.
You still have hair.
Yeah, Katie, not so much. All right, so you take a shot at me, it's going to come right back at you.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got, Katie Rose?
So Arnold Schwarzenegger just released a new trailer, but it's not for a movie. He
What?
apparently wrote a book about his life, and so he did a trailer for his new book.
That ought to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope it's got broken English in it.
If my life was a movie,
Oh, it
no
does. That's awesome. Okay, here we go.
If my life was a movie, no one would believe it. I started out as a bodybuilder from Austria and became the strongest and most muscular man in the world. I wanted to be in movies. I came to Hollywood, and within a decade, I was one of the biggest action stars of all time. I became governor of one of the largest economies in the world.
That's the amazing part.
But this story, you know. So are you ready for this story? You don't.
What about the part where you cheated on your wife for all those years? How about that part? That's the part I don't know about, and quite honestly, that's the only part I'm interested in right now. I know all the other stuff.
I find him so entertaining. So
Yeah.
this book comes out October 1st.
Okay, well, that'd be an interesting read if I read. That is one that you have to get the book on tape. If you, like that's one. There's no other way to do this book except book on tape with him narrating it. That's the only way I would accept listening to that book is if he narrates it. James Earl Jones, no, thank you. Give me Arnold every day.
There's one headline that's going around, and it was a bunch of people who are actually protesting. And this is talking about there's an anti-American protester in Pakistan that died from smoke inhalation while burning an American flag.
All right, now, I just had to suppress every part of me to not laugh right there. Like, is that wrong? Does that make me a bad person? Because there's definitely an irony of that. And if you hate us so much, the idea of suffocating on a flag you're burning because you hate our ideals, there is something kind of funny about that. Boy, I'm really vexed on this one. Because, I mean, they hate us, but then the Bible says we're supposed to love those that hate us. But, man, that's funny.
It does make you think maybe we should be sending over, like, highly combustible flags.
Oh, yeah. Like explosive flags would be awesome. It's like, you want to burn it? We'll give it to you for free. Just ship them, drop them out of planes and everything. Hey, here's some American flag. Look, American flag fall from sky. It's okay to burn. Boom! Like, how awesome would that be? We could win the war on terror that way.
Makes you a bad person, but a good American, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll take that. I think at this point, I will actually take that.
Apparently, Christina Aguilera and CeeLo are not coming back for the next season of The Voice.
Are you kidding me? Oh,
I'll miss CeeLo.
I know why. I know why CeeLo's leaving. I don't know if you heard this or not. I'd forgotten about this. They wouldn't move his button closer to him, and his tiny arms would get so tired of leaning forward to hit the button, and so he quit. He said everybody else had an unfair advantage with their normal-sized arms. I'm not sure that doing a podcast version of this show is the best idea because I don't know if I would have said that on there or not. No, I think I would have. Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I would have done that one. I'm not sure about the blowing up bombs, flags thing on the last story. But all right, so
Apparently, CeeLo's going to be working on 2 albums, and he's developing a sitcom based on his life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So taking his place is actually Usher, and taking Christina's place is Shakira.
Oh, weird.
Wow.
Okay, that is odd because Blake Shelton was the one I didn't think was going to return. He's like, I don't want to do 2 seasons and much less 3 in a year. So apparently he's cashing the check. So he's in, and Adam Levine is still in, but CeeLo and Christina out. Is it just for a season and then they're going to come back? I missed that part.
This is just saying they're not coming back next season, so I don't know after that. But
that's interesting.
at least for next season, they're not coming back.
You know Usher is going to start every single comment with, well, when I discovered Justin Bieber, I told him...
Yeah, or yeah, you know. So, I don't know that, like, boy, CeeLo gets really creepy quick, especially with the lady contestants.
So entertaining, though.
He is entertaining, but he is Captain Creep. Like, and so it's like, hey, come here, baby. Yeah, you're on CeeLo's team. Let me put my tiny arms around you. All right, next.
Oh, the this is going to be our last video podcast, isn't it?
Maybe so. It's fun though.
So you hear a lot about like hoarders, and a lot of times they'll pass away, and
I
people
watched
don't
the
find
show,
them for like a
Hoarders.
month or something.
Okay, I watched that show and I'm fascinated by that show because it's sad to me. At first it was kind of an oddity that I watched it, but it really is sad to me when you look at somebody's life and they have all this stuff and you would think and you get mad, you yell at the TV and you go, well, why don't you just go on vacation, let them clean your house and come back to a clean house? But it's not that.
It's hard to understand because you can't just say, just throw it away.
Yeah, exactly, because that's the whole problem. They can't because there's mental issues going on that attach them to the dumbest and the silliest things, like even trash. And it really, really is sad. Like, it's a really sad show to watch.
And I think a lot of times that show, you see them look around and they realize what they're living in.
I walked into someone's house the other day, and I actually had to stop and ask
I'm
them.
not inviting you over anymore.
No, but you know this person. I walked into their house the other day, and I was like, hey, man, are we like in a hoarder situation? Like, look at Zach just laughing uncomfortably. It was Zach's. I walked into one of his rooms and I'm like, dude, we're friends. I don't want to overstep a boundary here, but are you hoarding? Because there's just all this trash.
It was our sunroom, and
Yeah.
it's where we were collecting our recycling. It's been a couple weeks.
Oh, okay, so that's good. So you're actually
We're saving the planet,
saving
right?
the
But you
planet.
can make fun of that if you want.
Well, you look like a hoarder, man. Like, I was worried for you because I know your wife does all these craft projects and
Right,
stuff like
right.
that, and that can get out of control fast. You got to keep an eye on that, man. Like, what starts off as a craft room ends up as a hoarder house. You know, you got to watch that. I have to watch that with my own wife. I threatened when we built our new house that I wasn't going to have a single flat surface, so she couldn't stack things up, so that everything would be at an angle that would fall. Yeah, because she's a piler, man. All right, so what about this story so sad?
So there's actually a 69-year-old man that passed away in Nevada, and it took, they think, about a month to find him.
Oh, man, that's not good.
Yeah, when they found him, though, he was sitting there clutching $7 million of gold bars.
No way.
He had hoarded just the stamped gold bars.
So if you got to hoard something, that's the best thing to hoard. But again, it proves you can't take it with you when you're gone. And how messed up are you mentally? Like, this is what's so sad about this. This guy has in his hands the ability to get himself out of this bad situation instantly. Knock this house down, buy another one. I got 18 more gold bars left. It's not even going to hurt me. But that really goes to the mindset of it's not about that. Like, he had probably something so traumatic in his life that triggered this event that he couldn't get out of his own way and couldn't even help himself, even though he had the means to do it. That is truly the saddest part of that show.
They actually found a lot of other things when they went through the house. He apparently had $165,000 worth of stocks.
What?
And $12,000 in cash.
That is crazy.
It took them about a month or two to track down a cousin, and they finally just got a hold of a cousin.
Wow, that is amazing. Like, that's the thing, when you watch that show Hoarders, you see so many times where there's not like really ever a happy ending. It kind of is a mediocre ending where the person begrudgingly gets rid of stuff, but they're not really happy about it.
Satisfied about it.
Yeah, and you're not sure if it's going to take, you know? And so I would love to see a Hoarders follow-up show to see if after they helped somebody, did they stay on track and continue to get help, and did they actually follow through with it and change their life? Like, that's a show that would be an interesting follow-up show. That and the follow-up show to Extreme Home Makeover. Because that's a show where they're given everything. You are instantly out of trouble. Half the time they pay off the house, all these things. But I'm curious if sometimes bad life decisions people make, they make habitually throughout their lives.
It's habits.
Yeah, and like, would they revert back to what they've always known, or is this truly a clean start for them? Like, I've never seen that show be made, and it scares me because if there was a way for the network to pat themselves on the back, show the success, and make money off of it, trust me, they're going to do that.
Yeah,
You know,
but
that's-
then they're gone.
Yeah, that's what networks do, you know? And so the reality is, where that show doesn't exist, that tells me that the track record of people staying up with it and keeping it as nice as the day they got it is probably very slim. And that to me is sad. That is taking an opportunity and not making the most of it, you know? And so that's definitely a sad thing to me. It's kind of like this show.
We'll check Zach's house in a couple months and see what it looks like.
Yeah, we should actually. We'll do a follow-up show, and then we can even show up on Intervention. That's another great show. All right, so there you go. That is your free podcast, our Pledge Drive version of the podcast today. Hopefully you like that, and don't get too used to this format, because I got consultants telling me we can only talk for 2 minutes now. So this is fun for me, though, man. I'm enjoying just riffing about this stuff, man. So enjoy it, and thank you very much for being part of the show.